Welcome to the Bravo Charlie Club podcast, making you 12 and a half minutes more awesome each week. He's Ben, I'm Richard. Let's go. Ben, how are you this week?
I'm doing well. I'm still trying to work it out what it is that I would die for. I think
Been pondering it all week.
I have. I haven't come up with anything different. I haven't had any listener feedback yet either. So hopefully someone saves me and tells me exactly how to unpack that one. Hey, mate, you listener country call out this week is Denmark, which is hi. HEJ is hi.
Hi. Okay.
Yeah. And if you're being extra friendly, you say hi. So
that is fantastic. Double hi. Hi.
I like it. Hey, I want to jump into the Fully Awake project this week. Have you ever had a moment where you learn something and you go, really? That can't be true. And like you immediately feel like you have to check, it by Googling it or whatever. But I recently watched a movie called Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to give a spoiler away, but in the very early section,
I think we all know what happens in Oppenheimer, don't we?
Yeah. Although again, like
not how it happens. The broad brushstrokes, but yeah.
And I didn't really understand the movie anyway. So, and I'm not watching it again. It's 3 hours of my life. I'll never get back. But in the movie, he drops the knowledge that Alfred Nobel invented dynamite, and I was like, wait, what? The guy who invented the Peace Prize invented dynamite? And so I did what we said we would never do and did some research. And it turns out he did. He did invent dynamite, yeah. He combined nitroglycerin with an inert substance to make it safer. And he got the nickname Merchant of Death.
From branding.
From doing this. Now, which sort of led me on this sort of garden path that, was this the original, like, guerrilla marketing? Like, back in that, mid-1800s, he's had, like, a brand manager come up to him and say, now, Alfred...
Sales are going to go through the roof. We're calling you Merchant of Death. I mean, so he's all in for it at the start, right? Then he's like, oh no, this is going to be how I'm remembered.
He was deeply affected. And so a second brand manager has come up to him.
He needed the PR management campaign.
And
how are we going to get out of this one?
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to establish the Nobel Peace Prize for contributions to humanity. Now, is that the first sort of, like, could you imagine that in today's world?
Like, we've got a PR disaster on our hands. We've got to get on the socials. We've got to get this
social
out there.
Media, the reels would be spinning like crazy.
Oh, wouldn't they? Yep. Yeah.
I don't know exactly what the media was like. If it was just
the socials of the day,
the front page, Merchant of Death, and a picture of him looking somber, and that was the whole.
Letters.
Oh my goodness! So anyway, back to my original point. Have you had any moments when you've gone, nah, that's not right? Like, seriously? Like, because when I read that, saw that. Oh yeah, Alfred Nobel invented dynamite. I was just like, nah. But I mean, it's a movie. Hopefully, movies are researched well enough that they don't just make false claims in that regard.
Well, you never can tell. I do believe in conducting. Would I call it semi-rigorous fact checking? I'd call it at least Googling around for a plausible answer. I mean, I think it's probably happened. I can't remember the last time it's happened. I think the thing that is often missed in the stories is the context.
Yes.
Around them, and so you can see a catchy headline or something. I mean, everyone A/B tests their headlines these days. You can't rely on them as any source of truth. Particularly those little things that might scroll by on like a Bloomberg ticker under the screen or something. You're like, what? That can't be right.
That's not right.
Yeah.
And context is a really interesting point, actually, because the way I read about Alfred Nobel was he was actually trying to make nitroglycerin safer because it was highly volatile. And so he designed a way for it to be used, in a safe, so without people blowing limbs off.
Or without killing himself.
Yeah. and they just attach the Merchant of Death name tag to him anyway. You can't please people these days, right?
Damn it, they're calling me the Merchant of
A
Death.
Major Dynamite.
I don't like it. What are we going to do here?
Oh, goodness me. All right. Well, okay. Well, let's put that one to the side. But yeah, that really caught me off guard. Where I was just like, nah, wait, I've got to check that. I do regularly have my phone near me when I'm watching a movie or something, because there's always someone in the movie who I'm like, I know your face, but I can't
That
place
guy,
you.
where's he from?
Yeah.
And so what do?
Especially,
Do you snap a picture of the screen and then just like go to
well, I
AI and say,
will.
who's this guy?
I will, now that I know that you can do that. I just look up the show that I'm watching on IMDb and find the cast member, and then
There we go. Yep.
click their bio,
Who is
and that
Baron
tells me
Harkonnen, or who is
exactly.
yeah.
And the one thing that I've noticed, and my beautiful wife keeps reminding me of, is if you're watching an English movie, guaranteed it's one of the Harry Potters that they were in. Like
When they were 12.
You're basically not a British actor or actress if you weren't in one of the Harry Potter movies.
It's a bit like Marvel, the Marvel universe, isn't it? Like
yeah, fair call.
Yeah,
the American side. Well, there's a couple of Australians in there as well.
A few, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Hey, on to travel tips, mate. And speaking of my wife, she was talking about, you had the tip where you said that you buy milk on your way to the hotel, and for your tea. And she said, that's how I book our hotels when we travel, right? And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, we've even got a name for it. It's called the top 3 supermarkets in relation to the hotel location hack. And I was like, tell me more. And basically
I think that needs some branding work. That tag is just too long. It needs to be shortened down to.
We'll call it the Merchant of Death and see if that spins off it. But basically, we prep a lot of food when we holiday, and so it's really important that we're not carrying like food a long way to our hotel. And so she Googles for where the supermarkets that she thinks might fit our diet are, and then chooses a hotel in relation to that. And it makes so much more sense. And I thought that was a great little travel tip. Yeah,
it is.
She's a planner, though.
Yep.
She's a planner. There's no doubt about it. Hey, mate, on to listener feedback. Listener KH phoned in, actually.
Phoned in? Yeah.
It's an unusual experience to listen to BCC because, Ben, you sound so sensible in the podcast.
Wow.
That might have been from a while back. I'm not sure. Yeah.
From the early days.
I'm not too sure how sensible we sound at the moment, but we're having a lot of fun, that's for sure. Hey, I got a conundrum for you.
Yeah.
Why do you put a space after the last word of a sentence before putting the punctuation? So when I edit the show notes and you send me through the show notes, you've always put a space and then the exclamation mark, or space and then the question mark.
I do, actually. I space.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know. I put the full stops up against, but the punctuation, I don't know. I do. I space it out.
Where's the muscle memory then? Like, I get to the end of the sentence and you actually have to decide if you're going to put a space or not, depending on the punctuation you're choosing. Whereas I just put my punctuation and keep going.
There you go. I don't know. I can't explain it. There's no rhyme or reason.
We've worked out now, what are we, 45 episodes in? We've worked out that not all of our conundrums can be explained. I've got one for you then. How far away are we from a generation that doesn't need a driver's license?
Oh, yeah.
So context here. Now, my girls, they've just, they're 19, but they've got their license a few years ago. They actually went old school and learnt to drive manuals. So, they can drive a stick, as our American friends will say. But I think there's, some of their friends don't have licenses or are very early in the learning phase, and certainly learning in automatics. But like, I
think everything will be automatic, is it already? Like, it's the default, really, isn't it? You've got to go out of your way to find a manual car, don't you?
You do. But, both my girls were very keen to know that if they got in a car, they could get it to move down the road. And again, Tanya's an excellent driver, but also teacher. So they got there easily and can drive manuals easily. But yeah, I just think that the cost of cars, the cost of fuel, the cost of maintaining a vehicle, if we live near public transport and use ride sharing services, there must be a world where people don't need cars.
I think so. I mean, I think it depends on your geography and your sort of city layout, really. The Gold Coast being sort of like long and thin, it doesn't really have a centre. And so you end up having to do a lot more driving than, say, well, we certainly do as a family, than we did when we were in Melbourne, where there's an excellent public transport infrastructure and you can just jump on it everywhere. But
That's
yeah, I mean, even self-driving cars and other sorts of things. I mean, I think the companies that have that sort of tech, Tesla, full self-driving and other sorts of things, it's still further away than they think.
Yeah.
There's 5 or 10 years. I mean, it's coming. I think we'll get there. I think the tech's got to improve too, and some of the costs have to change. Like, I know Tesla's in on cameras rather than LiDAR, which I think is probably not optimal.
What's LiDAR?
LiDAR it's like radar with lasers. Radar with lasers. This sounds awesome, doesn't it?
Isn't laser an acronym as well?
Oh, it might be. It's an acronym in an acronym. It was like inception of acronyms.
It's a bit unfair. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So effectively, what it does is it makes a point cloud, right? It uses light, bounces light off things. The light comes back. You can tell how far the objects are away from you based on sort of like sampling all the space out front.
So like bats.
Sort of like bats with sonar, but using lasers instead of sound waves. But the same kind of thing in concept. Whereas kind of Tesla has gone for 2 cameras and gone for sort of like a stereoscopic camera thing, much like human vision. And so you've kind of got these, which is cheaper, but has all the same fallibilities that human vision does. So LiDAR can see through fog and other sorts of atmospheric hassles on the road, whereas human vision can't necessarily.
I'm very less likely to be able to see through fog. I can tell you that right now. Okay, so the question was how far away are we from a generation that doesn't have a driver's license? I feel like we're a fair way off, Stu.
Well, maybe the next one, right? I mean, how long's the generation? 20 years?
Yeah, 25 years, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd say.
Well, I mean, again, to your point,
the
geography is important. Melbourne's a good example. I thought Singapore, probably Tokyo.
Yeah.
New York, potentially, the big cities with the good infrastructure. Well, I guess someone living in New York's going to go, who you calling good infrastructure? But, I think that, Singapore is very simple to get around without a car. And in
Singapore's
fact,
fantastic.
The cost of cars mean that you almost have to get around without one. So interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I'll wait for your update on LiDAR and when to cancel my license.
I'll report back. Yep.
Thank you. Hey, that's it, Richard. Listeners have been BCC'd on our week. Thanks for joining in. We'd love to hear from you. Get in touch with us through the links in the show notes. They're always there. In next week's show, we're going to ask, is it better to travel with cash or with a card? See you next week. Bravo Charlie Club out.
That's the pod.